Wow, I had so many words I was going to choke on them. Welcome back to the Build Show. I'm your host, Benestrino, over here at the Empower Gaming Studio. Today we're not building a computer, but we are finishing a computer. So, the finishing computer show tonight. Welcome back, John. Welcome back to the Build Show, Mike. John Paul Bacon, welcome to the Build Show. And Porgasclore over on the Twitch side, welcome back to the Build Show. And it's Roy, welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Everybody, welcome back to the Build Show. A new share from Michael over on the Facebook, thank you. Tony also followed us over on Facebook, and Carter, thank you for the like over on the Facebook as well. So, tonight, we are going to be finishing a PC that was already started. So, Tony, I don't know if he's actually here in the chat yet or not. He said he was going to be tuning in, but I did speak to him, I think it was yesterday, over a call, and he was like, hey, I saw that you have really good reviews, and I'm like, it's me, Ben! So he brought this PC over because he really wanted to have somebody finish it, because he started the build, and I think got a little stuck. So, and he didn't want to deal with the cable management. So we're going to go ahead and finish it for Tony, and make it the best possible PC that we can make it with the parts that he has here. So he did come from a CyberPower PC, which he did donate to the channel. So we'll take a look at that after we're done finishing his PC and see what we have. And whether or not it works, I don't know. I think he mentioned there were some problems, which kind of triggered some upgrades, and then, or upgrades and then triggered some problems, and then triggered buying and building a new PC. So that's the direction that he went. So this is not the card. This is the card that actually came out of the CyberPower, I think. And we're going to be putting the 5060 Ti in its place. But before we do the 5060 Ti, we are going to go through everything else, and make sure everything's plugged in correctly. He gave me, I think, everything that came with all the parts, so I hope I have everything here that I will need to complete the build. We are also going to add an additional fan to the back, as long as we can get it to fit back here, which I think we should be able to. This is a 140 millimeter Corsair fan that'll match the Corsair case with the front Corsair fans that are already in there. So it's a nice matching fan. This is a fan that I've had sitting around here that came out of a case that we replaced with other fans. So it's a free 99 fan that we're going to throw in there for him to get some exhaust out the rear. And then we also have a LGA 1700 bracket sitting here. This came out of another build, customer that switched over from Intel to AMD, so this is a leftover bracket that I'm going to throw in there for him as well. So we have everything that we're going to need for this build, I believe. So we're going to go through, verify everything is correct. We're going to redo some of the cable management and finish the build, and then we'll fire it up, and then we'll go through the CyberPower PC build that he donated to the channel. If we could do anything with it, awesome. Would be happy to build it out and get it to somebody that needs it. You keep the CyberPower PSU? No, the power supply is actually in the CyberPower build, so we'll take a look at that and see what it's got after we finish this one. Okay, so to start, to be honest, because we are going to be taking this off and applying the contact frame, and probably redoing some of the cable management, and I see some fans on the back here that are unplugged, and I don't want to have to be back there trying to get it, reach everything. I'm probably going to take the radiator out. I think that would be the best approach here, because there are some cables on the fans that are unplugged that I'm not sure, maybe not, that might just be part of the chain, and I'm not sure on that. So I'm going to take this apart and take a look at it, because I think it might be correct, but I'm not sure. So I just want to take it apart and look at it. and make sure we have everything plugged in right there. I'm not fully confident just because of how the cables are just smashed in here that we have everything plugged in right, and I just want to be sure. So I'm going to take the cooler out because we're going to be installing this contact frame anyway, and then we'll go ahead and start making some forward progress. So let's get the bigger view and get my face out of the way. Right on. John Paul Bacon could be tilted build a PC finishing up. Yeah, I know. That's why I called it number 63-ish, because it's kind of already built for the most part. We are going to check everything. Just sure. So I'm also going to take this card out, just to get this out of our way. Weird design. I also cleaned up my desk, so the desk got cleaned up a little bit. Got some of this junk that was in my way out of the way. Freed up some space. But I think he was just trying to get it fired up with the old card. I think he said it was not displaying, so that is a concern as well with the old card, which it should have. But of course it was in the bottom slot, not the top slot, so that would be a concern as well. So while we're in the CPU department, we're probably going to pop the CPU and just examine the pins just to be sure. I'm going to move these slots while we're sitting here so that we can prep that for the graphics card. And move those down below where we just moved the graphics card out of that slot. Lots of fun stuff that we're going to be doing to this thing. Is a cyber PC? Of course it has. Well, iBuy problems and cyber problems are still gaming PCs regardless. They just choose, typically they choose poor motherboards and they choose poor cases, cheap cases and cheap power supplies. And that's what makes them, really, that's what makes all their problems. So, and also cheap coolers. They're getting better on their coolers. I will give them that. And they're getting better with their fans. But their cases and power supplies are still really cheap. But other than that, they are making forward progress in the quality department. Maybe one day, CyberPower will be a quality build. The other thing I might do here as well is... No, we're fine with it. I'm okay with that. Never mind. Forget what I was going to say. Scratch that. Go ahead and remove this top panel. Oh man, this is actually my first time I've ever been in this case. It is unique, to say the least. If I had to guess, this is what, the 4000 whatever, the new one? Does anybody know what case this is? Corsair 4000 something, I think. A nice ATX mid-tower size. And this is really unique for adjusting the position. I assume that moves this whole bracket over. We've also got some of our screws into the radiator. So that's something I'll have to, or want to look for to see if he has those real quick. This is all the extra stuff that he provided from the build. There's our G bracket that I was looking for earlier. Our PCIe lane bracket for fans. Or radiator. 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we're missing 7. We have 4. There. 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Or, unless it's underneath that. Alright, so regardless, good enough. Got mine missing. I might have one sitting here to use. Let's pull the radiator, and then oh, look at that. We've got some interesting thermal paste here. Antonio, Corsair 4000D, thanks for streaming my mistakes. Oh, no worries. What we're here for. I'm not going to remove this yet. I'm going to remove the block first. And then, it actually looks a little funny too. Position. The block was not, I don't think, secured all the way. Meaning it could have been tightened down a little bit more. There was probably not enough pressure there. Would have worked, but would have lost some temperatures there. It's a good thing that we're doing this. Dude, I found behind he's saving what I couldn't. Oh, no worries. Ben, I did a oopsie with the AIO with this time. I put the bracket on to screw it down motherboard, but didn't turn it all the way. Clock. So when I started screwing it in down, it just popped off, leaving the bracket there and pump in my hands. Yes, thermal right will do that to you if you're not holding the block. It does like to take off on you. Another good thing that I did this because I see a hair in between. There's a hair here. Between the thermal paste and the CPU, there was a hair. So I don't know if it's going to pick it up or not. But I am holding a hair that was stuck in the thermal paste that you can see where it was. You don't want that in between your CPU and your cooler. So we're going to make sure we extract that. Then we're going to wipe this down actually, and then reapply new thermal paste, which he did apply, or did bring. So we have more thermal paste. So you don't ever want any foreign objects mixed into you or in between your CPU and your block, because it will disrupt the thermals pretty badly. So I'm just going to use a paper towel to wipe this up. We don't get thermal paste everywhere, like that, for example. I was trying to avoid that. I have the thermal paste thumbprint. That's nice and clean. Down one more time. Thermal paste prints here. That's pretty good. And then hopefully my thumb, which is now thermal paste, doesn't leave any prints. Got some thermal paste here. We'll get it cleaned up, don't worry. Alright, Next, I'm just going to check these, make sure they're all the way secured. I don't know if he used the sticky on the back side or not. What I'm really worried about is pulling this and having that back panel drop on us, which we don't want to have happen. I'm going to pop the back panel and take a look. See what we got back there real quick. And it's covered up, of course, by this panel, which I'm going to remove. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It would have to be some pretty good pressure for it to go somewhere. So I'm pretty confident we could probably remove this without the back plate and the CPU falling out. Why am I doing this? Well, number one, I want to double check the pins because he said it didn't fire up when he tested it. It should have actually fired up with the GPU in there. I think it should have been able to fire up and display or post. So my concern is there's damage under here. You never know. And there's something going on with the pins, which is why I checked. So we're going to zoom in real quick, and I will show you, Tony, what the problem is as to why it didn't fire up. You can already see the abnormal layer of pin there. So if you look closely there, we'll see right there a pin that's out of place. That is 100% why the CPU or the PC did not post. So from here, I'm kind of stuck because I can't really go forward with the build knowing that there's a bent pin in the socket. And it is not something that you can repair. It's not something I'm willing to repair because it could cause more damage. So, because it's not hardware that I purchased and I don't have the warranty on it, etc. So, the answer here is this board has to go back. Here, let me move it back over, just so we can get some better lighting there. There we go. But you can see it. So this motherboard needs to go back to wherever you purchased it, and you need to get a replacement, unfortunately. Because with that bent pin, it is never going to post. Might be able to get it to post if I play around with it, but again, I'd rather you just take it back, get another motherboard, and then we do it right. So then we know for sure that that's never going to be a problem later down the road. It could also be a pin, you know, one of the DIMMs isn't working. I just don't like dealing with that. I'd rather have a fully working board, especially if this is going to be a new build for you. Let's just take it back, get a replacement, and do it right. Hello, fake PC builds. This is actually prop parts. Nightbot? Okay. Do you have any replacements on hand? Not for LGA. If you were in here and you saw the CPU stack, it is dominantly AMD here. So most builds here are AMD. So I don't have a ton of boards. I actually take that back. I have a Z790 board here that is used, but it was used for like six months. And then again, if this is a new build, I'd rather you take this back and then just get a replacement board and have a new build. But I will not proceed with the build with the bent pin in there. So I don't know if we have the you. Hey, That happens. Intel for the win. Yeah, with a bent pin. We have a bent pin tonight, unfortunately. That's what I was worried about. I was thinking about that after he told me that he tried posting it, and I was like, kind of sus. Probably should have posted just fine, and of course didn't. So, gotta be something wrong with it. I'm just gonna put a piece of tape over it, not that it really matters. This is just masking tape. Cover up the pins and try to keep debris or anything out of it. I'll go ahead and take everything out of the board, so that way we could get everything ready for the new board, and then you can just take the board back. Where'd you buy the board from?
Mission failed. We'll get 'em next time.
Yeah, seriously. Mission failed. How many of these will you spam, John? No attempts to unbend it? No. Not when it's a new board. If I do any more damage to this board, because he bought the board, then, you know, it's going to be on me. So... Most of the time, if you don't use the socket cover that came with the motherboard, no returns. I know, I'm hoping he has one. If not, I might have one sitting around here, maybe. And no, that's the wrong build, Onra. Ignore that. That's yesterday's, all good. Yep, that was yesterday's build. So this is a customer that contacted me yesterday and said he started a build and wanted some help finishing it up. He said he tried posting it, but it wouldn't post. And he also wanted some cable management help and then finish up the build, etc. But I was going to do the contact frame for him. And while I was down there, I was like, well, let's check the pins just to be sure. And sure enough, there's a bent pin on the motherboard. So we are going to need another motherboard for this. Hey, Sadie, sometimes. Welcome back to the build show. Most of the time, if you don't use the socket, yeah, that, like I said, I'll try and see if I can find one. Hopefully he still has it in the box. Nice case, yes. This is the Corsair 4000D, I think is what he said. Still, yeah, it's a really nice build. It's unfortunate that we had the pin problem. With bent pin, we really can't go anywhere. So what I'm going to do is remove everything from the board, or remove the board from the computer, and take all the hardware off of it that we need for the cooler, for the RAM, the SSD that's probably under there. Possibly multiple SSDs, actually. And then we'll just have the board ready for him to pick up so he can take it back. I'm going to leave the RAM there while I do this. I'm going to take the cooler out too. So that's done because we have to remove that anyway. Check all the cables. Not confident everything's plugged in right. And then we also have to be very careful here, because we don't want to do any more damage to the pins. Go. All right, so we got the cooler out. We're going to reroute some of these cables too. The front fans. All right, let's go ahead and remove some of this stuff off the board. So we're basically unbuilding a PC now. We're going to start with the RAM. Move that. Then we're going to remove the cooler mounting hardware. You just want to be careful here because we're working around the socket. And then remove the back plate for the cooler. Which does have the adhesive. So we got that removed. Now we'll tackle the M.2 drives. It's actually a really nice drive, the 990 Evo Plus. Good drive. And it looks like there's a second SSD here. I did manage to keep the package it came with, so I'll come get the motherboard and exchange it. Awesome. That is going to be a good idea, I think. Actually, is not a second SSD under here, sorry. Just the clear tape that threw me off there. It looked like an SSD under there. That's good. Was it just the one SSD that you installed? Or do I have to check this bottom slot? You put anything underneath here? I should probably just check. Nope, nothing there. Alright, so this board is ready to go. We have everything that we need off of it. This board can go back without any other additional hardware that we need for the build. Now with that, let's go ahead and put the cooler back into the case. Or should we just wait? This is actually going the wrong direction. RGB. This is our extension, I think, what this is supposed to be. All of these plug in, daisy chain off of each other. So we got one fan here, two fan here, the third fan here, and then this extension plugs into the back over here on the other side instead of where you had it. And then this connection will go to the motherboard, and that is how you'll control the RGB on here. Additionally, same thing here with the PWM fans. We have same thing, not plugged in, so they'll daisy chain off of each other. Then you'll have an extension here which will go to the CPU fan header on the motherboard. So these two cables here at the end will go to the motherboard. The rest of this is an extension if you need to add more RGB to a bigger cooler or more fans to the CPU fan header. But we don't need to do that. Let's go ahead and zip tie that up. Neat for them. A couple of small zip ties if we have them. Need anything too crazy. Some small ties. Tie these up. Basically, these will get tucked in underneath behind the case there. Keep it nice and neat. That cooler would be ready to go back in the case now. But they daisy chain, so you've got 1, 2, 3 fans. They're daisy chaining to a extension cable, which probably came with the cooler, and both of these go to the motherboard. One goes to the CPU fan header on the motherboard. The other one goes to the addressable RGB rainbow. You also have a third one from your pump, your block, way over here. This is an RGB connection, which eventually, when it's in the case, there's two things you can do. You can plug it into the motherboard first, and then plug this in to this extension piece, or you can plug it into the back up here if you absolutely had to, and it would be a chain. This connection here is going to be your pump, your AIO pump. So that's what runs the speed of the pump, which you want to control. It also monitors the pump, so if the pump stops working, you'll get a message from your BIOS that'll tell you that your pump is no longer working, and that's something you want to monitor. Because if it stops working, the fluid's not going to move, and the fluid will just boil on the CPU and eventually burn things out. Is Ish for Ishmael? No, Steve Anderson, and welcome back to the Build Show. Cliff plays. Buying parts here been costing me triple, man. Where are you buying parts? Hey, can I get parts shipped to Africa? No, I don't ship anything international. We only ship to the United States, unfortunately. If we do ship internationally, I can, but all the taxes or tariffs or dues at the border is going to be the customer's responsibility. I do not handle any of that. Just the one M.2, I'm assuming. If you really want to do future proofing for your system, feel the number one part to invest in is the PSU. Get a PSU with a greater wattage support. Yes, so he has a 5060 Ti, so he could easily just run that on like a 600 watt power supply, but he has a 850 watt. Yeah, unfortunately, Steve, that wasn't the right build. I didn't update Streamlabs. I rushed to get streaming. Steve, he was trying to help out Antonio build, but there was a bent pin in the motherboard. Yes. Unfortunately, we had... so Antonio started the build. I'll go through the process again. Antonio started the build, reached out and said, hey, need some help finishing it, getting the cable management done, putting the graphics card in, and etc. So he brought the build that he started over to me to have me finish, and he did mention that it did not post when he did try it with the old graphics card. So I had a concern. I was like, I feel like maybe it should have posted. So we're going to put a contact frame in to replace the stock contact frame, and I pulled the CPU anyway just to take a peek underneath, which was very smart to do, and we noticed a bent pin there. So he's going to take the motherboard back, get a replacement, and then we'll have to come back to this build another time. In the meantime, I was just cleaning up his AIO to get all the cables ready, so that's basically when we get the motherboard and we go live again with this build, we can go straight into the build and we'll have everything just ready to go, basically, at that point. So the AIO, the cooler, is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and move the CPU, the SSD, and the RAM over here. As well as the other hardware. I have one of those burgers somewhere, but it's okay. Delaware. What's for dinner? I think it was chicken and potatoes or rice or something. I haven't actually eaten yet, so not eaten dinner yet. Okay, let's get the case back up here because we want to reroute some of these fan cables. These front fan cables we can reroute to a much better location on the back side and then route that to the motherboard. So we'll go ahead and unplug these and reroute these cables so they're not floating around here in the front. Then that way, that will be ready as well for our motherboard when we get that in. How do we do this? Pretty simple. Run this way. We'll have a nice zip tie here, I think. And then the extension cable that came with it, it looks like. We'll plug in here. And then we'll run that over to the motherboard where it will plug into the motherboard, wherever that might be. Looks like we're also going to need some additional power supply cables here. So I'm probably going to pull the power supply. He did give me the power supply box. I think it has all the cables. I think what I'm going to do is just plug in all the cables so he has them there. Let's go ahead and pull the power supply just to load it back up. We're also missing 2 screws here. Whoa, Jesus. Did not expect it to fall like that. And also, always make sure you peel your peels on things by fans, because these eventually fall off. This one's in a tighter place, so it's probably not going to go anywhere, but the graphics card probably has some. New fans probably have them. And if you don't peel these, they eventually fall off, get sucked into a grill, start blocking airflow, or make it sound like a dirt bike. Brrr. Alright, so let's go ahead and plug all these cables in. Shall we? Oh, here's all the other screws. Did not know these were in here. Good to know. And I assume this Wi-Fi card came from your old PC? Looks like it might have came from the old PC. Or is this from the new PC? How do I contact you? You have a website or something? I can buy it from you, especially used parts. Yeah, you could reach out on the website. There's a contact form there, or you could just email support@empowergamingpcs.com, or you could join the Discord and reach me there at the Discord channel, which if you'd like to join the Discord channel, it's !Discord in the chat to receive the link. What's Max doing? Max is just hanging out over here. Laying down, taking a nap. Hanging out. Thank you. You're welcome. He repastes GPUs. I do. Yes. My PC... Hold on. Do you have PC case swapping for people? Yeah. Yeah, I could do a PC case swap for you. My PC came with a awful case, and I have a new one. I just have no idea how to do it. Yeah, if you want me to do a case swap, I could do a case swap for you. Sure thing. And that is Malachi approved. Malachi? Welcome back to the build show, sir. For real, though, I do wonder when he will look at the chat. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I was in the zone, guys. The build zone. Is there a way to turn on a PC with a controller? Maybe with a actuator? Probably, yeah. Some sort of wireless actuator to the power button, wired to the power button. I don't know, something like that. I'm thinking too far into it, but there's probably a way to do it. Bruh. Added the 2 additional screws to the power supply. So that is installed all the way as well. Yeah. We'll have all the cables for the system ready to go, and the additional cables will tuck into the cubby here, or store them up here. Either way, this PC is ready to be built, and the cable management will be proper. What's an actuator? An actuator is something that actually moves. I'm overthinking it, but there's probably a way to wire it up, and I'm sure it's actually on Amazon. Yeah, I know, you keep using sounds. Take a chill. Chill on the sounds. Done and dusted. Nice. A lot of sounds. Okay, so this is ready to go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cyber power that he donated. Told you all we would look at it. Kind of scared. This is what we're looking at, guys. We got some work to do. It's at least clean. I'll take that. For sure. All right, so upon opening it up, we do have some fans in here that are plugged in on the back side, it looks like. Tangled up here.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Got a back plate, which is good. We have the actual motherboard, which is good. It's an A320 motherboard, so this is an AMD platform. And then we've got the power supply back there.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Alright, so we've got power supply. I don't know what that was. It's actually a Thermaltake Smart 600 watt. Not bad. Not a bad power supply. An 80 plus bronze. And then like we have a 2.5 or a 3.5 inch hard drive in here. This is actually a Fantex case covered up by CyberPower. We'll get that cleaned up. So, a 1 terabyte hard drive in here. Let's see if he wants that data, or if he has anything on it before we utilize it. Let's go ahead and put this thing together, is what I was thinking, and see if we can get it to post. And I actually have some G-Skill RAM here and a 1 terabyte SSD M.2. The board does have an M.2 slot. You just have to build up your points and then you can use them. Alright guys, it's a donated CyberPower PC, yes. It was donated by Antonio, Tony, who is here in the chat. We were working on his PC. This is his old PC. So he donated it to the channel. If we could get it working, maybe we could get it to somebody who needs a PC. So, would be cool, right? I want a 2001 cheese grater. Yeah. Alright, so let's mount the board back to the case. Before I do that, I am going to pull the cooler and check to see what's underneath that cooler. That just popped right back out. Nice. Alright, so let's pull this, see what's underneath. Shall we? I don't even know how to pull this thing. Oh, one of these guys. A really old school cooler. Yep. Paste is drier than the Sahara Desert. And I don't even know how dry the Sahara Desert is. It is a Ryzen 3 2300X 4-core. 4 cores, 4 threads, I think, right? All right, so let's apply the thermal paste, put the cooler back on, and do I have another cooler here? I don't think I do. 4-core CPU, are you kidding me? It's a Ryzen 3, dude. That is what's on there. This thing can still run. Just me. There we go, nice and clean. All right, so let's apply some new thermal paste. The FX 8300 is better. Not necessarily. I think this will actually beat the FX 8300. Oh shoot, you know what? I wanted to pull this up just to check the pins. Try to do it without getting my fingers sticky. All the pins are in order. We did it without getting thermal paste on our fingers. That's how you do it. So the pins are good. There we go. And we'll go ahead and add our 16 gigs of DDR4 3200. Kill Ripjaws. Then I'm going to add an M.2 drive, but it looks like we're going to need a M.2 screw. I do have a ton of them sitting here, so this is a 1 terabyte Gen 3 SSD that we're adding. It's by Silicon Power. It's an A60. I had a screw from earlier. Sitting over there. That was extra. What's that? What's up, chat? What's up, Tat? What's going on, man? Ever considered thermal pads? Yes, I have considered thermal pads, but on something like this, I wouldn't put a thermal pad on there. I like how we just don't know, LOL, which Ryzen CPU. It is the Ryzen 3 2300X. So this was a PC that Tony actually donated to the channel. We're just going through it and seeing if we can get it to fire up. The 3300X was a great 4-core 8-thread CPU, yes. Highly sought after. Hard to find at retail price. It's hard to find today, yeah. I was on the Intel whatever socket, the i3 12th gen, so LGA 1700 socket. Okay, so a 2300X, cool, yes, and this is an A320 motherboard, and we just added G.Skill 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 1 terabyte M.2 Gen 3 SSD, because it's an A320. It's not really going to go anywhere, unfortunately. So We'll get this thing back in the case now. The cyber power case that it came in. And mounted. Assuming none of the studs move. D is interesting. Our HD audio pins were a little bent up there, but we got them. There we go. We have that in place. Go ahead and get a power supply plugged in. And then we can get a GPU plugged in. And then we can fire this thing up and see if we get a post. All right. GPU time. Oh, I didn't realize we were so zoomed in still, guys. Should have said something. Not that I'm reading the chat right now. Terrible at this. Basically, dude, I wonder if I should just sell my laptop a combo. Let's play Will It Post? If it don't post, a lucky winner gets a free piece. What? I think this motherboard has a little bit more than $10. In my opinion, is what IMO means. In my opinion. One of my favorite 4-core 8-thread CPUs is the i3-10100F. Can be had new for 75 to 80 US dollars. It's pretty good. I know. I mean, if Nightbot wants to give away PCs, he's more than welcome to, but I'm not dealing with any of the problems. All right, so let's drop a graphics card in here and see if this thing fires up. Which, he does have his old graphics card, which is an RX 560 Aero ITX 2 gig overclock card. So it's a 2 gig RX 560. As long as it displays, it'll do it. We can obviously put a bigger card in it if we give this thing away to somebody. And I actually have a Ryzen 5 3600 that was donated from another person that did an upgrade. The upgrade that we did a couple days ago, the 3600 to the Ryzen 9 5900. They donated that CPU to the channel as well. So we have a 3600 we could throw in here as well. And then we just need to source a better graphics card. All right. You don't need to plug anything else in. I'll fire this up. So let's see what it does. I'm just running a test here. But we got it powered on. And it posted. So, we got a fully functional computer here. Now we can build off of that. Refurbishing a PC, Jesse? No, this was donated by Tony. So Tony donated this PC to the channel. So we're just going through it, making sure it works, and then we might soup it up a little bit and then give it away to somebody who needs it. But I am going to change out the Ryzen 3 for that 3600 after we do a BIOS update. So let's do a BIOS update. Let me go download the A320 BIOS. I bet this is a extremely old ASRock A320 BIOS for A320M HDV. I think that's ASRock. It is ASRock. Let me go get the BIOS update. Need Yes, this motherboard can go all the way up to a 5950X, but I do not recommend running a 5950X because your EPS is only the 4 pins, and that is not... And then the VRMs on this board is terrible. I wouldn't go much higher than a Ryzen 5. Alright, so I got our BIOS file. I'm going to go ahead and flash the BIOS. Oh yeah, this is a very, very old version of the BIOS. No supported device. Probably because it needs to be in a USB 2.0 slot, and that is exactly what it is. No image file detected. Interesting. Hold on. Let's try that again. Still no image file detected. What version is this? Oh, this is an R4. It's a revision 4, so hold on. I gotta get the right revision. What is with this Nightbot, dude? Ben Estrino, the villain, has won. Yes, Ben can't update the BIOS. No, I just have the wrong motherboard revision, apparently. This would be awesome for playing games from 2004 to 2010, like BioShock, Half-Life. Yeah. I think we're going to put a Ryzen 5 3600 in it and then upgrade the graphics card. I'm in City, Ferndale, Wake County, what? State, Washington. I have no idea. If it came out of a pre-made, it might be a special BIOS. I know that could sometimes be the case, but I don't think this is one of those. This was before they started making those. Okay. Once more under the bridge. There we go. All it took was downloading the BIOS for the right motherboard. I didn't see that this was the R4. Oops. We got it. Do you want to update? Yes. Oh, now it says it's an invalid file. Well, let's try that other version that I downloaded just in case. Invalid file. This is so stupid. Hey, what's up, JP? LOL. Like, hey, all good. I'm just trying to learn what I don't know. If there's anything I can learn, but yeah, ITX motherboard and an ATX case. Well, this was a donated machine for the last time. This is a donated machine, so this was donated to the channel. This isn't something I would typically build. This is actually a CyberPower PC that was donated to us, and if we can get it up and running and do some upgrades to it, and donate it to somebody, that would be, you know, really cool. So that's what we're doing tonight. Okay, so I've downloaded literally every version of the BIOS. let's see if it finds it. It does find it. Let's work our way up. Still telling me it's an invalid file. Like, how could it be an invalid file? It's the right board. JP stuff. LOL. I even have a PS5, no PC, but I just know a lot about them, can build them, just enjoy it. The hell out of it. You said an issue like this before. Yeah, I know. Had issues like this before, Tuna. I just don't know what's wrong with this one. Let's all think about how great of a day it was. Started when I woke up grateful today. Thank you. Yeah, it's a good way to start the day. Alright, I restarted just to see if it would make a difference, and it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't like the files that I'm trying to throw at it, apparently. It says invalid file. Why is it an invalid file? Ugh. It's P2.00. UEFI P20. My gosh. I don't know what to do here, guys. Duck. And we're back again. My only guess is that we have to go all the way back. Because we're on P2. I think we have to go to P230 first. That is exactly what it was. So we're going from P2 version 2.0 to 2.3, and then I'll try to work my way up. Wow. It did not want to jump from where it was to anything even in 2020. So this version is from like 2018. You'll have to go through the next BIOS and work his way up. Yep. That was my guess, and I just downloaded the one right above this where it's at, 2.0, which is 2.3, and it took it. So I'll take it. We'll just work our way up, doing 1,000 BIOS updates. You try resetting the CMOS battery? I don't think that's what it was. I think it's just a ASRock. This is such an old version that it doesn't even know that the new BIOS files exist. We have to work our way up in steps, basically. So we'll try the next one after this is done. But this version is actually should allow the 3000 series, the Ryzen 5 3600. So this would technically make it possible to install the Ryzen 5 3600. It would not have worked on the current version that it was on. So we would have gotten a black screen there. Like letting touch grass, but what are you saying? The BIOS was, yeah. And I know what the issue is. What is the issue? He will have to go through the, oh yeah, yep, as we were talking about it. The BIOS was so old, it was missing files, needed to go way forward, yes. I know, but I had literally downloaded like 4 years of BIOS updates for this board, and that was still not good enough. So I ended up just getting the next one up, and that one worked. So I should have just done that in the first place. I knew better. So I just, there is a bridge BIOS version. Once you hit that, their threshold will allow you to do it. Yes, I know. That's what I'm hoping to do is, since now I pretty much have every BIOS version from 2.3 up for this board on that flash drive, we should be able to figure it out. Hope your power doesn't go out right now. Yeah, that would be a terrible process. I actually have a battery backup for this station, and I still have not put it in. So, shame on me, because I have it here in place, and I could use it right now. So if the power did go out, the PC would not shut off. It would give me about 15 to 20 minutes of runtime. Older, cheaper chipsets always give the worst issues. My dog came over and laid down on my feet. I love this dog. Yeah, dogs are always loyal. Yeah, the P32 should be the magic number, I think. Yeah, I think so too. This is 2.3, I think, is what we're jumping to right now. Fun fact, Ben Estrino toothbrush is 2 years old. It's actually probably older than that, to be honest with you. I'm just kidding. Actually just got a new toothbrush. Right after I had all of my wisdom teeth pulled out. You guys remember that? That was back in March. I want to say March or April. April. That sucked. Took like a week before I could not feel any more pain on that. From that. And they didn't give me any any meds, so I was just taking like Motrin. Okay, next update. Here we go. Let's see if we can just jump. Nope, still an invalid file. So we can't go to the top. We'll go from here to... We'll try this one. Nope. Didn't like that. 7.4 is not going to happen. Damn. Let's see. 3.7.4.2.4.3. Let's try 3.7. It'll take 3.7. We'll take that. So we're going from 2.0 to 2.3 to 3.7. Hey ZW, welcome back to the Build Show. Would you rather get the 4080 Super or the 5070 Ti? I would tell you only because of the 4080 Super basically not being available anywhere new. If you're trying to get a new card, the 5070 Ti is going to be the better option. New. So you have the warranty that'll back it up. Tat no laughing or we'll get timed out. Oh, interesting. For the record, guys, Nightbot has 0 power in the chat. He is just an individual, I think, trolling the chat at this point. I so wish I already muted him once, 3 times tonight now. And he keeps coming back with different accounts. So I wish I had 1,000 channel points so I could ban the word BIOS. The word BIOS would be a terrible word to banish right now. Because then I'd have to start using the CMOS word. How the heck did it know you were drinking a soda? I don't know. DLSS 4 is really that good? For newer titles, yes. ZW, DLSS is that good. More and more newer titles are just going to continue supporting DLSS support because that's the direction everything's going. So I would just go with the newer card at that point because they're pretty much in the same price point. And I don't know if they're exactly the same performance. I think the 4080 Super would have a little bit more performance on it, but you're not going to find a 4080 Super new within a reasonable price. So, redeemed word ban over on Twitch, and the word that's banned is BIOS, so now I have to say CMOS. Always gonna say 9070 XT. 9070 XT is not a bad card either. That's another option if you want to go to the AMD family. Sorry to hear about the trollers. Is what it is. Nightbot is a troll, just for everybody's awareness in the chat. He has no power in the chat. You can block Nightbot, everyone. I've already kicked him out of the chat like twice now, and he keeps coming back with different accounts. So I don't know what to say. For example, I will time him out for 24 hours and he'll come back with a different account. He's that bored. I don't know what to say. Hey, what's up? Oh, you retracted your message, Angel? Damn AI, LOL. FSR4 is starting to gain ground now. Yeah, I think it's doing a pretty good job. I don't see him now. Yeah, it's because I timed him out for 24 hours. But this is the third time, third different account, third different the third separate account that I've done it to now, so he keeps coming back with a different account. No, I think it's just some dude trolling the chat at this point. Is a 3070 Ti a good option for a new PC build? I think it's a better option than a 4060 and a 5060. Need some mods, Ben, for your streams, lol? Yes. I have a couple. They're just not in here tonight, so... There you go. I thought he was one of the helper AIs. I don't know what he is, dude. He's not one of my guys. I didn't know you were in here, some giant idiot. I ended up just putting him in timeout for 24 hours. And then I just added Steve, Jesse, and Tat as mods as well, because they're in here a lot. And they're pretty good dudes. So they'll help you. Some giant idiot, I'm always here. I didn't know if you were here or not. I don't remember seeing you earlier. Sorry, there's been a lot going on here. My 2+-year-old MSI Radeon RX 7900 XT Gaming Trio Classic is fine for me now. Oh yeah. Hey, that card's gonna do good for you for at least 3 more years before you start having to worry about it. Oh, you're welcome. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to the next version. We got the 3.7. So now let's try to go... Let's try to get up to 7. Let's see. Well, wait. Let's see if we could go all the way to 10. Still no. Oh, very nice. Nope, doesn't want to go to 10. So we're gonna go... Okay, good night. Let's try to go to 8. Invalid file. Okay, let's try to go to 7. I went to 7. Didn't want to go to 8. So we went from 2.0 to 2.3 to what was that? 3.7 to 7. Version 7. This has been a weird leap. Mods unite. Only 150 more to go. Hold on, I gotta say goodnight to the girls. Curse, you vaping? No, I had to say goodnight to the girls. No vaping. Ben, my 3080 smells like strawberry custard. I just wanted to see the airflow. Guess I got carried away. Strawberry custard? What? I mean, why are you smelling your graphics card in the first place? But why does it smell like strawberry custard? We have to unite one day and ban every word. Did I say the word? I did say the word, didn't I? Wait, and I can't say and wait, what? When did that happen? Hold on. I don't know if it's because I left, but I got an ad. Then yours the E second banned word. I did use it, didn't I? I didn't see the rest of the chat. So what else got banned? So I know BIOS got banned, and I'm pretty sure I said it. I already forgot. NVIDIA and BIOS. How could I talk about part? I can't even talk about anything. Oh, I see. Vaping into the case. That makes more sense now. Strawberry custard vape? That's interesting. I'm currently doing a watermelon mint. Honestly, working out well. I like minty. I don't know. I don't know what the challenge is. You guys didn't define one when you defined the word ban. So there is no challenge. That's the loophole. I have to say Team Green. Yuck. I'll just say the card and work my way around it. The RTX 4080, made by that company. You know what I'm talking about. No, I'm just kidding. So these guys over here on Twitch are unhinged. They're banning a bunch of words for me. No, I will not be. That's not the challenge. Has to be a reasonable challenge. When I installed it into my son's PC, I kept smelling something and I was like, what is that? Still, why are you smelling your graphics card? Almost done with these CMOS updates, guys. The UEFI updates. Almost done. So they can't use the other word. Apparently it's banned. Yeah, I sniffed a PSU. Get over it. You're a GPU sniffer and you know it. Okay, then let's do it. This next PC you build has to be a complete brand. Well, I can't do that because all the builds are based on customs. So it's what they agreed to build. I'm not going to say that the 50 series is the best. I refuse. Over my body, I took meds for seizures till I was 12 years old and went off my meds at 14 years of age. John Paul. Oh, okay. So you're not really having any more seizures anymore, Steve? That's crazy. If I could wear gestures. I don't even know where to get a gestures hat. I'd have to find one. All right. So this CMOS update is completed. Let's go once more under the bridge to see if we could get to the version 10 that's out. I'll see what I can do with the hat. I'll see what I can do with a hat. I'll wear a funky hat. How about that? Not guaranteeing a gestures hat, because I don't even think... I know we don't have one. Okay, guys. Let's see if we could get to version 10 from here. Oh, it's taking it. Oh, thank goodness. The final update for the CMOS. Haha. You thought I was going to say it? I know, we're just staring at this pretty PC just running. It's actually getting a little bit warm. Feel a little heat coming off of it. Alright, so now that it's doing its final update, we could give it a little upgrade, which is going to be a Ryzen 5 3600 from the Ryzen 3 2300X that's in there. We'll upgrade it. This is just a 5900 XT box. This is not the actual CPU. I just put it in this box. The 3600. So we'll upgrade the CPU, and then do I have a GPU we could throw in here? I had a perfect GPU. It was like 8 gig 5070, and then I had a 6600 as well. That would have been another perfect GPU, but I had to borrow that. I don't know. I don't think I have any other GPUs sitting around here right now until the 6600 comes back. Let me look. I might have a GTX 1660 Super, so just give me a minute. So, no 1660 Super. We'll have to source another card. I have one. I'm pretty sure this card is bad because it says bad on it. Never mind. I thought this was it. One of my 1660 Supers. It is, but this one says bad. Bad. So, this one's probably bad. Yeah. There goes that idea. We'll have to wait until the 6600 comes back, or I'll have to source another card. I don't have any other cards floating around here anymore, which is weird, because usually I have just cards floating here. Any cards that's reasonable for this rig. Like a RX 6600, or a 1660 Super, or even like a GTX 1070 would be cool. Or 1080. That's what I'll probably try to do, is track down a 1080 or something like that. Used. It'd be good, really good with a 3600. Or an RTX. Well, what's the... is that even a full X16? 1080 Ti would be fire. Yeah, but a 600 watt power supply would power that, question mark? I think I'd want more like an 850 watt power supply for a 1080 Ti. Wait, did I say it? Oh, don't ban any more words, guys. Come on. It's ridiculous. Okay. the CMOS updates are completed, or the UEFI. We are now on the newest version. Yay! So we got a Ryzen 5. We're gonna have to source another card, and let's get some more fans in here. We can for sure install two 120 millimeters on the front, one 120 on the rear, two 120s on the top, and I want the extra fans on this because this is a hot box. I'm not going to use the Apivia fans that originally came with this case, this build. So let's go dig up some fans. Here's a couple of thermal take fans. Those will do just fine in here. And we need some 120 Leon Lees. Have some dust on them, but they were used. These are actually really nice fans. We'll put those on the top for exhaust, and we'll put two RGBs on the front, one on the rear, thermal takes. So now we need a fan hub, because I know for a fact this board only has one CPU fan header. We need a fan hub. Oh, what do you know? How about a Thermalright fan hub? Glad I randomly have these sitting here. Perfect. And then last, we don't have an RGB controller on this. We're gonna need some way to control the RGB. And I don't think this has a reset button option. Has RGB's options on here. Oh, nice. This case actually has an RGB controller on it. That works beautifully. So we have a way to control the RGB as well. How do we do this? Yeah, that'll work. It'll do. You're not sorry about it. Having both me and John on Twitch was such a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I just can't read all chat messages. I don't know if that's going to clear it or not. I'm worried about that. We might have to reroute this so it's down here. Nice. There we go. So all I did was route the cable down below here. So we could have more cable towards the bottom of the case. Okay, so let's install our two fans in the front. And then the one in the rear and the two in the top. Yeah, I don't like view counts either. Let's see here. Going back to the YouTube chat. Smallest GPU I've ever seen. Yeah. It's a very small GPU. Oh boy. You were trying not to say it, but you said it anyway, guys. Come on. Wrong spot. Oh, you're looking in the wrong spot, dining room table. Gotcha. Feel proud of your dad? My dad and I had time. We did not agree, but I will tell you that that man was my hero. I always tell people, if you have to look further than across the dining room table to see your hero, you're looking in the wrong spot. Oh, that's very nice of you. Say that, Steve. About your dad. Would be good for a beginning of a build. Show just ban AMD if he is using an AMD CPU, so when he's saying the build, he can't say AMD. That would be very mean of you guys to do that. Very mean and rude of you guys to do that. Please don't ban those words while I'm building an AMD build, for example. Or an NVIDIA. Damn it. I said it. Hopefully you guys were in an ad. Yeah, I know, okay? I just said it. You're very proud of your dad's service while serving in the Vietnam War. Getting exposed to TI Agent Orange. Ooh. Did he carry that with him? AMD, Intel, NVIDIA. Thanks, Steve. I already said the word, so I'm just going to say it now. NVIDIA. It's already happened. NVIDIA, NVIDIA, NVIDIA. Do. I actually don't use those words. Except for in the very beginning of the stream. Unless somebody's commenting on something regarding that word. Yes, and thank you for his service. Good call. Actually, might have to run this one straight down because it just might not be long enough to read. Do. Almost done with these fans, guys. And then we can start, or then we can see what it looks like completed. Minus the GPU that we're going to source and upgrade. And then, oh, we're going to still do the power supply, obviously. I'm sorry, the CPU upgrade still. I was thinking about that. I might have another cooler. It's a little bit better than this Cooler Master that's in here. Kind of an awkward one though, because it's actually for a small form factor build. Not technically for what we're doing here. But I think it'll do a lot better than the cooler that we currently have on it. Worried. Can we reach the back plate on this? Yes. Definitely reach the back plate. This thing will have enough fans. Stay cool. There we go. Nice. Of course, we got kind of that. Starting to look a little better. Alex, better late than ever. What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Build Show, Alex. All right, so I have a cooler that's for aim. It is actually a thermal take, small form factor, but it's got 4 heat pipes. So I think this would do a lot better than this thing. When we go ahead and do that, and I might actually see if we can find a different fan for this. Not that this is a bad fan, but we could put an RGB fan on it, it would look cool. How about a forbidden deep cool fan? I find the right connector for it. I think this is a 4-pin DF. I do. That'll be cool looking. And we do have to put a different bracket in. It'd be pretty easy to do this though. Alright. Start by removing this one. CPU came with it. Cool. You want to remove the CPU and the cooler at the same time? Go for it. Hey, what's up, Mike? Welcome back to the build show. Where the fun never ends. Oh no, it's Ben Pins. No, it's not going to be Ben Pins. It came straight out. An aim 4 trait. Or aim 4 likes to just pop out like that. Do. Why doesn't it feel like it's... I wonder if that's normal for that cooler. It feels loose. it, routed the cable without. Okay. Stress eating Korean barbecue. Is it because of the transmission? Oh, did I miss Robert? Oh, there's Rob. Robert. Or Rob. Welcome back to the Build Show. We're working on a system that was donated to the channel. We will have to source a new graphics card, though. It's a measly RX 560, which isn't going to do much today, so we want to do something a little better. Not that it's measly, it's just... In all reality, today's games need a little bit more than 2 gigs of VRAM. Alright, so now all we gotta do is plug all of our fans in. Right. And then we should be off to the races. Got one here. Two on the top that are not RGB. Plug those in first. And we'll work our way around from the front to the back. We're also going to need RGB covers for these two because they're exposed pins, which we don't want exposed pins. That actually might cause issues. We don't want any issues. And we'll stuff our hub down in here and try to route our cables. Those pins, got to take care of that. Oh, thank you for the raid of a party of 3. Ink. Much appreciated. How's your stream tonight, sir? And welcome. You came in at the perfect time where anxiety is at your highest. I called her, sir. Sorry. I didn't mean to call her, sir. I forgot. It's okay. I don't get offended. Thank goodness. Mrs. Tuna, I apologize. Still getting used to that. Thanks, some giant idiot. Thanks for rubbing it in. Now the music is as clashing as it can be. I gotta figure out why it does that. When people raid and then they comment from the raid, it plays that music every time. And I don't know why it does that. I've never been able to figure it out. Guess we're just gonna do some cable stuffing here. Downside is I didn't think about this 24 pin. That's all tangled up now. Easier thing to do is undo the 24 pin. Also, I need a power connector on the back of this hub. What's the problem you're having? It freezes and gives me driver timeouts all the time. I thought you said it was working. Did it stop working again? Steve? Maybe I might go with Intel NVIDIA. I don't think it's a, I think it's a unique problem with his card. Like there might be a problem with the card itself. Based on what I've read in the past on it. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere, guys. Holy smokes. This is definitely not the right panel. Might help put it on the right way. Okay. After lots of fun, we have an upgraded CPU, we have upgraded RAM, we have an M.2 NVMe SSD, we have an upgraded cooler, we have some RGB fans in the system, and some additional top fans. So all we're missing is a upgraded graphics card for this, and then it will be a fully functional, usable gaming PC. So who's ready to see what this thing finally looks like? And it's the graphics card upgrade. And this is all basically, yeah, pretty much everything was donated to the channel at this point. So we've got a pretty much 100% donated build. Minus the graphics card, which I'll have to source a better card for this build. All right. You guys ready to fire this thing up? Light it up, dude. I will put the screenshot in Discord. I don't know what that's regarding. Oh, that's your new server name? Gotcha. Sorry, I haven't been chatting. I've been messaging my friends. No worries. Jesse says, do it. Junkyard Wars. I mean, technically this so far has cost us $0 except for the SSD. I guess I did. That was brand new that I pulled out of my inventory. So that was like a $50 SSD. Let's punch it. Not sure why that CPU fan is not spinning. It started spinning, so I'll take it. And we can control the RGB from the buttons on the case, which make it really convenient. And easy. One of those Kickstarter fans. No, I just touched it and it started working. It was delayed because it was a new CPU install. So now it's rebooting right now. And for some reason that CPU fan header, it's a delayed start. I don't know why. It was pretty cool looking. It's actually a Fantex case, which is impressive. It's an older Fantex case, but still a pretty decent case. Minus the fact that the whole front's a solid panel. Got some mesh here. You got a little bit of mesh. But that's why we put the extra fans in on the top to help with the airflow. Thanks to all who have donated. Much support to all of you. Yeah, Antonio, or Tony, who we were working on his build earlier today, he was the primary donor of the main PC. So the chassis, the motherboard, the original CPU, the original cooler, everything. That came from Tony, as well as the GPU. And I threw in some extra parts that were donated from other people. So, the only thing that was not, that came out of my inventory was the 1 terabyte M.2 drive, and all we need is a graphics card for this. Like an RTX 3060 would be great in this build, or an RX 6600. And this would be a fully functional 1080p gaming PC for today. Now it's a decent cyber power with decent airflow and a 4 heat pipe cooler with some RGB. Hey, what's up, man? Welcome back to the build show. How's it going, Yummy? Ben, I was mentioning the driver timeout issue. Yeah, I got it. I caught on. It's a Windows issue, you're saying? Trying to overwrite the AMD driver. I'm not actually familiar with that, so I'd be curious about what you're gonna share, Robert. Would definitely like to know more about that. Or 1080 Ti or 1070. I mean, does anybody still actually use the penny? Very rare when I use a penny. It's very rare. I don't think I've used a penny in 2025. I have lots of pennies. Yeah. I have a lot of them. But they don't really get used. I guess I'm late. May know how much did this overall build cost. So, Tony, we were actually working on Tony's build. This is not Tony's build. This is actually Tony's PC that he donated to the channel that we just went through and upgraded with other donated parts. So we pretty much put together an entire PC minus the graphics card, which is an RX 560, and we really need to upgrade that. So we're probably gonna find a decent graphics card to throw in here, and this might be something that we get to somebody who needs a gaming PC for free, because it was donated to the channel. But that would be pretty cool, right? Right now, as of right now, the cost of this PC was $50. Thanks to the generosity of quite a few people here in supporting the channel. So the M.2 SSD was $50 that we put in there. And then the graphics card's probably going to cost around $200. So probably $250 total into the rig. For a fully functional 1080p gaming PC with a terabyte of space, 16 gigs of RAM. Not the greatest upgrade path on it, but it's great for maybe a kid to start out on. Oh, and then the Windows key if it doesn't have one already. I'm assuming it has Windows 10 Home. So we'll do Windows 11 Home on it. Assuming the board supports it. I don't even know if the A320 supports Windows 11. I assume it does. I don't see why it wouldn't, because the CPU's there that supports it. Wheat pennies. Oh, yeah. You're going to do a MS config and put script in to disable Windows to do that, if I'm not mistaken? Maybe. If I have to do that, Tat. Or are you talking about the, I think you're talking about the AMD card. It looks pretty great. The parts are decent. Yeah, it's a Ryzen 5 3600. And then, like I said, we'll probably track down either a 1080 or 1070 or something that'll run 1080p games today. And it's got 16 gigs of G-Skill, 2 8 gig sticks, and a 1 terabyte M.2 SSD. It's a thermal take 4 heat pipe cooler, so that's more than enough to cool that CPU. Then it's got a 600 watt 80 plus bronze power supply in there. Then we have 2 addressable RGB fans on the front, 1 in the rear, and then 2 black 120s at the top. So the airflow is really nice, even with the solid panel. It's going to pull a lot of air. It's going to pull more than it's going to push air into the case. So this is for sale. Steve, I think we're going to give this away to somebody that needs a PC once I source a card. Just slap a 5090 into it. Screw a 1080. Oh boy. Oh boy, Nightbot's back. He came back just to see the build. We got it up and running and it's done. Minus the graphics card we're going to source. Maybe we'll check in with Micro Center to see what they have. But yeah, it's pretty. Lots of RGBs in there. Hey Jeff, welcome back to the build. Welcome back to the build show. Looks clean, yeah. For a $50 PC, it's pretty clean. I mean, I had some fans here and the RAM. And the cooler. Jeffrey, that's the wrong build, so ignore that. Ignore that, that's not the right specs. $5090 would be a bottleneck so hard. Oh yeah, on this motherboard and the CPU, not a good idea. I don't even think the graphics card would run the 5090. It's a 600 watt. You could start it up, but I don't think you're going to run that card very hard without it tanking. But inside, this PC is a Ryzen 5 3600, 16 gigs of DDR4 3200 RAM on an A320 motherboard, 1 terabyte M.2 Gen 3 SSD. The graphics card that's currently in it that came with the build that was donated is an RX 560 2 gig. We have a thermal take, low profile cooler added there that I added, and then I added all the RGB fans, and then I also added 2 120s on the top as well. The PC came with a 600 watt 80 plus bronze power supply. More than enough for this type of build. All we need to do is really source a like a 1070 or a 1080, maybe an RTX 3060, and this PC would be pretty dope for 1080p gaming. They call me Ishmael. Congrats, Tony. This is Tony. Tony actually donated this build to the stream. So thank you, Tony, for donating it, because we'll get it to somebody cool who needs a PC. And I haven't decided who that person is yet, so we'll be on the search. It's from Moby Dick. Hurricane, didn't you? You're John, aren't you? Hurricane gamer. LOL, Roy. My wife said she likes watching you build PCs rather than me because she doesn't get yelled at like she does here at our house when when things start going wrong. But you just got a PC, so you don't need another PC. That'll do it, guys. We streamed for 3 hours tonight. That was a pretty good stream. Even with having bent pins, we made something happen. Had a little bit of fun with the build that, or the PC that Tony donated to the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will have more builds later this week, especially when Tony gets the other motherboard back to us, then we can finish his build. So we can finish Tony's build. Unfortunately, that PC, the motherboard he had brought to us, had a bent pin, so he's going to return that and get another motherboard. Then, we do have some additional builds, 3 builds coming up here. So hopefully we'll get to those later in the week. If we don't, then we'll definitely get to those at the beginning of next week. So we will for sure have at least one more build stream this week, leading into Father's Day weekend, which I am going to be pretty busy over the weekend, so I won't be very active through the weekend. Sunday especially, I'm going to be pretty much out the entire day. Saturday, I am going to be pretty booked as well. There's an event that I'm going to with some friends, so catching up with some friends. And Friday, I'm going to be mowing lawns. Lots of lawns. I have 2 lawns to mow on Friday. So, because I can't do it on the weekend, because I'm going to be elsewhere. So we'll be playing some catch-up. So Thursday is probably going to be the next build stream and the last build stream for the week. And then we'll be back at it again on Monday for sure. But thank you, everybody, for coming and joining and hanging out with me as we build PCs. We'll figure out what we're going to do with this build. We'll probably have a poll in Discord regarding this PC since it was donated to the community. Obviously, the community should decide what we are doing with this PC within reason. So we'll figure that out in Discord. If you aren't on the Discord channel, please join the Discord channel. You're welcome to by typing into the chat !Discord, and then you'll get a link to the Discord channel. Thank you, Some Giant Idiot, for dropping that into the chat. And feel free to tell us, or tell me, what we should be doing with this build. And we'll try to source a card for it, and I'll keep you guys up to date on that in Discord, probably. Mow lawns or something, yeah. I won't do an IRL stream with lawn mowing. That's the most boring thing I could do. At least in my opinion. Saturdays for the boys. Oh yeah. Saturdays for the boys, Alex. I'll be there. No, stay locked in your room building PCs. Yeah, some days I feel like that's what happens. So I need to get out and do something. Everybody keeps telling me to put a 5090 in it, and that's not going to happen, guys. I'm going to tell you that right now. 1080p is going to be the limit for this build. So, all right, guys. That is it for me. Have a good night. We'll see you on the next one Thursday night, starting around 8 p.m. Eastern time. Sometimes I'm a little late. So don't get worried. I will be live on Thursday evening. We'll see you on Thursday. Have a good night, guys.